I'm Edie Lush, and I'm here inside the Hub Culture studio. It is Davos. It's May, it's 2022, and it's pretty warm, isn't it?
Yeah, sure is.
Thank you so much for coming along to the studio.
Thanks a lot.
Professor Chris Tucci. You are Professor of Digital Strategy and Innovation and Director of the Center for Digital Transformation at the Imperial College Business School. Quite a mouthful.
That's quite a mouthful, yes, indeed.
So tell me, first of all, what is Imperial College doing in this digital sphere?
Okay, so there's a lot happening across the whole university. I'm partially involved in that as well. So we're creating a new campus concept right now called Imperial X or IX, which is based in White City. And it incorporates researchers from all across the whole university.
That's White City in London.
White City in London.
That's where I live. Very close to there. There you go.
North of Shepherd's Bush. Very nice area. And so we've taken over a couple floors of one of the bigger buildings there. And so we're expecting to have about 200 people or so moving in there by the end of this year across engineering, electrical engineering, computer science, statistics, math, business school, all different departments of the business school, and even the faculty of medicine. So we'll all be together working on foundational AI topics and data and digital topics, in addition to applications to business, to medicine, and many other applications to the climate, energy, space, et cetera. So there's quite a lot of activity happening across the whole university.
Really interesting. So it's a real cross-pollination of all the different sectors.
That's the idea.
What do you find happens when you do that?
It's just, it makes a huge progress for the impact, basically. Because up until now, we tend to work in our own little silos, our own little departments, you know, really narrow. And here, you know, you're going to be able to bump into other people from the same thing. So we hope it'll have a much better impact for grants, for working with companies, engaging with companies. So I think it should be a quite nice overall experience, and it'll have a lot more impact on society and on education, since we're creating a whole slew of educational programs as part of this new campus.
Fascinating. How does the Center for Digital Transformation fit in within the rest of Imperial College Business School?
So for the business school, if you ask me, I feel like digitalization and digital transformation is a very key topic for the whole business school. And in fact, the business school has identified that as one of the key pillars, going forward. So I think it's a really important part of our brand identity and one of our strengths, actually. So from that point of view, having this center is really, really key for the whole business school, since we're basically federating the topics. We're working with different researchers throughout the whole school and the rest of Imperial College. We're coordinating. What are
the kind of topics that you work on in particular with digital transformation?
Sure. Organizational implications of new technology adoption, fintech, digital strategy, artificial intelligence adoption in companies, future of work. So these are the kinds of, sort of tech strategy type issues, but also more on the organizational elements of them as well.
Interesting. So I wonder, digital transformation it's a buzzword. It's also a total reality. If the pandemic taught us anything, it's that if you're not already digital, then you may not actually exist as a company anymore. But how should we be looking at this from now forward? What are the things that businesses need to be aware of? You mentioned, how do you get in new technology? It's so hard when systems change all the time, right?
It's true, but on the other hand, staying back and doing nothing is so it's the alternative. A lot of people think the alternative is I'll just do what I'm doing now and I'll wait for things because things are changing too rapidly.
Right.
And the problem with that is, since everyone else, or not everyone, but enough companies are out there adopting these things, they're becoming more and more competitive, and you're becoming less and less competitive, relatively speaking. So that's why I feel like it's important to try and experiment now. So if I had a message, for companies, typically what I would say is start experimenting now. Don't wait, don't delay, and wait for the perfect moment, because the perfect moment's probably never going to happen.
Probably already happened.
And this is what you mentioned about the pandemic. Some companies were completely caught unawares, and they weren't ready for this digital future. Some were experimenting already, and they were able to implement things really quickly and move really quickly. And the ones that were left behind, and some of them went out of business. So I think this is the important message: is try experimenting now.
Don't wait for the perfect moment.
Exactly. So I think that would be like a main message for technology adoption in general, but in terms of digital, I think it's really diffusing rapidly. So it's really important to get a handle on it now, I would say, and don't get left too far behind.
Thank you so much, Professor Chris Tucci, for stopping by Hub Culture Studio here in Davos. And I'm Edie Lush.
Thanks a lot.